So the book talks about, tortilla chips, and it says what will happen to the equilibrium price and quantity of tortilla chips, P star, Q star, of tortilla chips, if the following two things happen. So the first thing is researchers prove that oils in which the tortilla chips are fried are harmful to human health, right? So the frying oil is bad for you. So research shows, right? It's one of those news articles. You won't believe this common household item is causing cancer. And it's tortilla chips. And then the second thing is that the price of corn, the corn harvesting equipment, falls. So what does this do to our equilibrium price and quantity to the tortilla market? Well, first of all, we have to draw what is the existing situation within the tortilla market. So we'll go ahead and draw a downward sloping demand curve and upward sloping supply curve, and we'll label our equilibrium So what's going to happen? What's that first thing going to do? Audrey, what's A going to do? Shift to the left. Yes, shift what to the left? Why? Because people don't want it. The taste and preferences, right? Even though it tastes good, if they see this study about it, right, it's going to seep into their consciousness that, oh, maybe I shouldn't be eating this. They're going to eat pita chips or something instead, right? They're going to substitute for a healthier alternative. Very good, the person next to you that helped you. Good job. Teamwork makes the dream work. So this first shift results in what? Results in a lower equilibrium price and a lower equilibrium quantity. Questions on that? Clear, right? People want less, so lower demand. When we look at where those new intersections are, the orange one instead of the red one, we see that it's going to be a lower price and a lower quantity. Dean, what's B going to do? Shift supply to the left. Let's think about this. It is going to happen. It is going to influence supply. Which determinant of supply is it going to influence?
Well, quantity is going to go down, but we don't know.
Why would the quantity go down? So I see what you're doing. You're kind of looking at the whole thing, right? Where you're saying, okay, is it going to shift to the right or to the left if we keep the price the same, right? And so why would it go down? Let's think about it. If the price of the corn harvesting equipment falls, that means that it's cheaper for me to harvest the corn. Corn is the main ingredient in the tortilla chips. So we're actually going to have a shift to the right because of it's improvement in technology, right? So an improvement in technology can also masquerade as just a fall in the price of the existing technology. So this is actually going to be a shift to the right of the supply curve. And so now, if we trace from where that last equilibrium was to where this new equilibrium is, we can see very clearly that there is more downward pressure on the price. So our new equilibrium price, our P triple star, is going to be lower than our P double star and going to be lower than our P star, our original equilibrium price. But what's going on with quantity? Anytime that there's a shift outwards in supply, is going to shift the quantity against the demand shift, right? This demand shift shifted it to the left, shifted the quantity to the left. Now we have a shift that they're not going the same way. And so the way that I drew it so that this new equilibrium quantity here is exactly the same as the old equilibrium quantity. But in fact, it's totally ambiguous. We have no idea what happens with Q triple star. We have no idea if it's greater than or less than that Q original star. We just don't know. So anytime there's a double shift, we can only make a conclusion about one of the axes. So we can conclude that yes, price is going to decrease because there's a demand shift to the left and a supply shift to the right. But there's different ways. What if we had this supply shift be, what if it was much larger instead, right? What if it was something all the way over here? Well, all the way over here, that new intersection, that shows that a Q triple star is actually greater than the original Q star. But what if I decided that I didn't want that supply shift to actually be that big, and instead of S2, I wanted to do something like this, S3, right? S3 is over here. This is less, right? This Q triple star is less than this Q star. So there's ambiguity depending on the magnitude of the shifts. So all in all, the point of it is, when there's two shifts, we know for certain that price decreases, and we don't know what happens with quantity. And this is when demand shifts to the left, and when supply shifts to the right. Questions on that? All right, let's do some more questions. Well, you'll have a lot of questions in the practice, so let's move on to notes.